Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you to all my new subscribers. This video is on the end of legacy media. All the old ABC, NBC, CBS, The View, Disney, because American people are tired. Are you to improve your ratings? Just tell the truth. A journalist is supposed to have an unbiased opinion. Hey Banks, hey Bill, hey Banks Bills. I know that's right. But the media is supposed to have an unbiased opinion when reporting the news. You're supposed to report both sides, whether you like them or not. Now, you can have an opinion, yes, then you need to write an opinion article. But just the blatant lies that they are doing and have been doing over the years, like, for example, hiding Biden's mental condition. Y'all knew that and you hid it. You lied. George Soros bought 140 radio stations to try to defeat the Republicans. I'm just saying, George Soros paying y'all a lot of money, got to be, for you to turn your back on the truth and the American people. Now, Caitlin Collins, she works for CNN and she's a journalist. She done got kicked out of the press room, and Trump and what's her name? Uh, Levitt let her back in, and she was removed from CNN and let back. Caitlin Collins, the controversial departure from CNN, she back now. CNN reporter banned Caitlin Collins from White House sparks complaints from broadcasters. The media landscape is ever evolving, and the recent news, and this was December 2024. Recent news surrounding Caitlin Collins has sent shockwaves through the industry. As a prominent journalist, Caitlin has made significant strides in her career, but her recent firing has raised many questions about the nature of news reporting and the pressures faced by journalists today. This article dwells into the circumstances regarding her departure, the impact on her career, and what it means for journalists. Just tell the truth and be unbiased. Period. If you got an opinion, do an opinion article. That's it. In today's fast paced world, journalists are often scrutinized for their reporting and actions. Caitlin Collins, known for her sharp questions and insightful commentary, sometimes for, has been at the forefront of political journalism, especially during her time at CNN. However, her recent firing has sparked a dialogue about the role of journalists in political coverage and the consequences of their work. This article will explore the events leading to her dismissal and implications for future journalists. Be unbiased, tell the truth. As we navigate through this complex narrative, it's essential to understand who Caitlin Collins is and what led to this moment in her career. The media world is rife with challenges, and her experience serves as a case study for many aspiring journalists. Let's take a closer look about her career and biography. Caitlin Collins is an American journalist. Oh, what up, though, Money Low? I'm talking about the media bias, the end of I gotta do because I created this channel, talk about the truth, but don't nobody really care about the truth. So this is the end of legacy news like ABC, NBC, and CNN. You know what? I should have put under Trump. I'm gonna add that to the title. And that's what we're talking about because I got to put some truthful stuff in here. But I do enjoy doing the West Coast. I think I'm going to do, I got one more segment of Monster Cody. And I don't know, I was thinking about Tupac, the East West Coast beef. That might be good, the East West Coast. Tupac, Suge Knight, Diddy, You know what? Death Row versus Bad Boy. East Coast, West Coast. That's what I'm gonna do next. Damn, that's gonna be good. I'm gonna do that. Yep. But she gained recognition for her assertive interviewing style, her ability to ask tough questions. Born on April 7, 1992. That says a lot. She an Aries, no wonder. In Prattville, Alabama, Collins pursued a degree in journalism from the University of Alabama, where her skills in reporting and in media were shaped. Over the years, she has become a prominent figure in political journalism, covering significant events and breaking news stories. Well, she sure was kicked out the White House. The circumstances surrounding Caitlin's firing are complex and have been a subject of much speculation. She has gained both praise and criticism for her aggressive style of questioning, particularly during the Trump administration. Yeah, I got to change that name. Some believe that her confrontational approach may have crossed the line, leading to tensions within CNN. Critics argue that her reporting could have jeopardized the network's relationship with the White House and other political entities. It did. She be out of line, point blank, period. She crosses the line and she is a very biased reporter. The question remains, was her style too controversial for the network? Yes. The firing of Caitlin Collins raises important questions about the future of political journalism. As new organizations strive to maintain credibility and rapport with political figures, the role of journalists may evolve. Just tell the fucking truth. Tell the truth. That's it. This situation underscores the challenges faced by reporters in balancing their duty to inform the public while navigating the delicate relationships they must maintain with sources. Facts. What does this mean for future of political reporting? Following her firing, Caitlin Collins' career trajectory remains uncertain. Well, she back at CNN now. Is she back in the White House? Reporting. As a talented journalist, she may find opportunities elsewhere, but the impact of her dismissal will likely resonate within the industry. Many are left wondering how this event will shape her future endeavors and whether she will continue to pursue a career in a political journalism or shift her focus to a different area. Yeah, I got to put this under Trump. Caitlin Collins' journey serves as a valuable lesson for aspiring journalists. The pressures of this industry can be immense, and the fine line between aggressive reporting and maintaining professional relationships is crucial. Future journalists must navigate these challenges with care, understanding the potential consequences of their actions. That is a fact. What key takeaways can reporters gain from her story? The firing of Caitlin Collins has prompted a broader conversation about the challenges and responsibility faced by journalists today. As media landscape continues to evolve, it is essential for reporters to adapt and find a balance between a duty to form their public and their damn opinion. I put that in there. Caitlin's experience serves as a reminder of the complexities of journalism and the importance of resilience in face of adversary, adversity. Ugh. Ultimately, her future remains uncertain, but her impact on the industry will never be forgotten. Let me change this title real quick. Let me edit this one thing because I mean under Trump. All right, let me just do that. This is gonna be a short video because I'm about to go to work. I'm about to do my Amazon. I need some money. I
Kind
don't
of
get paid
uncomfortable
for this.
over there at Disney and ABC News because the new head of the FCC, one Brendan Carr, working for Donald Trump, is already getting started. The inauguration hasn't even happened yet, and yet Brendan Carr is firing off letters to the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, saying that, this isn't cool, that ABC has basically had this erosion in public trust. And
Facts.
the news network is a problem. Take a look at this, you guys. Okay, so just a couple of days ago, just before the holiday and about 10 days after, they settled that $16 million suit there. Well, it was actually a multi-billion-dollar suit, but they settled for 16 million. 15 million to the Trump Library and another $1 million going to the lawyers for Donald Trump. Well, Brendan Carr says, you know what, there's this erosion in public trust. Hey, ABC, and I'm kind of concerned about it, especially when it comes to licensing all your little networks all over the country. They have an affiliate system, you see there at ABC News. And so he wrote that, quote, ABC's own conduct has certainly contributed to this erosion in public trust. For instance, ABC News recently agreed to pay $15 million to President Trump's future presidential foundation and museum, and an additional $1 million in attorney's fees to settle a defamation case. In other words, he's able to use that, you see, against Iger and against ABC. So it's not like they're retreating as a result of that 16 million that they're getting. No, in fact, this actually gives them more ammunition. In other words, the public is so sick of you guys. You do such stupid stuff.
Facts.
You admitted that you do stupid stuff. You admitted it. You got the stupid guy on air that keeps making allegations of stuff that didn't happen, that's not true, that the judge never said Donald
Facts.
Trump was guilty of. And so George Stephanopoulos, he knew it, by the way, he knew it. His producers told him, don't say it. He said it anyway. Why would he do that? Other than to perhaps influence the outcome of an election. So now ABC News has to give an apology, has to give all this money, and now Brendan Carr is saying, okay, well, that's proof. That's proof you guys are no good. And so he's going to be kind of heavy-handed. Typically you get an FCC chair, and I bet you couldn't even name them, right? I happen to know them because a lot of these people I've interviewed many times and I know personally. But I would say that the FCC is not the most glamorous of jobs, and I think suddenly that's about to change. Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Bob. Elon doesn't like you either, so you're kind of in a tricky scenario here. DeSantis doesn't like you very much either. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of Republicans that are really not very big fans of one Bob Iger. Maybe he'll actually finally retire over all this. There's a good piece in the New York Post, well, it's everywhere being reported that basically what this is going to come down to are those affiliate licenses. So apparently somehow CNN gets their hands on this letter, which they haven't actually shared, but they've shared excerpts from the letter, including quotes like, you've already basically shown your own conduct has certainly contributed to this erosion in public trust. That was
Facts.
one of the little tidbits. But they've also pointed out that ABC, because it has to negotiate all these affiliate deals, is actually in a very vulnerable spot. You see, local TV stations, they're licensed by the FCC. They get their license. They're actually much more trusted than the national networks, but the national networks are the ones that provide them the programming in between their local stuff. So you get it, right? You're watching your local news in the morning, and then all of a sudden, Good Morning America.
He sure ain't, and I love Trump. That's just me. I try to stay unbiased and not talk. He ain't playing. But I wish they stop interfering, get them damn illegals up out of here. But that's another topic for another day. I'll be back on them damn migrants. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. And I just pray for us black folk. Y'all need to know your rights. I've trained my kid. Well, had them read the Constitution. Know your rights when you dealing with law enforcement. And your first word is lawyer. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and will be held against you. That's why I don't understand loose cannon and brick baby. The fuck? Silence is gold. Your first word is lawyer. Period. It stops. That's it. lawyer. Man, I just don't get it. I don't. But anyway, that's another topic.
And then The View comes on. And after a while, you're probably like, why do I have this national network news programming? I mean, I like my local station, but what do I have to deal with these wackadoos over at the network like this one?
All of you talking about you and stuff. He's not going to be. He's not going to, say, "Oh, you're with a white guy. I'm going to keep you from being deported." No, he's going to deport you and put the white guy with someone else. The man is out there. He's also.
That was Whoopi Goldberg suggesting that Donald Trump was going to break up marriages. I mean, it's just really like interracial marriages somehow. That was where she was going with that. I mean, she's crazy, right? I mean, she's spitting whenever she.
This is Trish Reagan. I like her. She used to be with Fox.
On set when referring to our former president of the United States, who was then the Republican nominee, just one, to become president again.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you can't refute anything with him because
he knew how to do what with dementia. The man fell more times than standing up. He didn't even run the White House. Obama did. I'm just saying. He ain't know what was going on.
I mean, rambles. Trump. Yeah. He tends to just.
Can I mention one thing?
And then the audience gets the clap sign. So you see, all these local channels all have ABC News affiliates. They get their license from the FCC.
Facts.
But that means the FCC has a little sway, a little control. Perhaps, should they try to use it? Now, again, I'm a big believer in the First Amendment. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I guess it's her business that she wants to spit. But when they continue to promote so many lies or so many hateful things,
Facts.
like, for example, the time that, Whoopi said somehow when the now president-elect was nearly assassinated, came within millimeters of dying. Somehow it was his fault. Do you not think that that's going a little bit too far? Maybe just a little bit too irresponsible?
Exactly.
JD, clearly you've not been to one of your boss's rallies because you believe this insanity. I mean, he has been inciting violence since 2016, telling them to beat up hecklers, threaten to shoot looters and migrants. They have, I don't remember Bill Clinton.
That's a lie.
What was going
on in his
White House when it was sprayed by 29 shots. I don't remember Obama blaming opponents when his White House was shot up in 2011. You have to really take a look in a mirror to see the reflection. One of the reasons that everybody has survived is because the Secret Service has been doing their job. Let's start with that. That's, so quit blaming folks until you decide to take a look at what's coming out of your mouth. You didn't want to tell people that it was a lie that you've been talking about when you're sending people to go against folks in the community, in Ohio. You know it's a lie, but you talk about, well, why are you going to bring it up? Yeah, because you know what he did.
J.D. Vance.
Yes,
but
talk about it.
So just to be clear, that was Whoopi Goldberg, who is very incoherent most of the time, trying to somehow suggest that he brought this on himself. He deserved to get shot. What is this? Is this like the United Healthcare thing? You deserve it because you work for a health insurance company. You deserve it, Donald Trump, because we don't agree with you, and because of some of the things that we don't like that you say.
Okay, so I'm gonna we're gonna be done with that because I got about 5 more clips. Then I'm done and I'll be out of here. Let me find it. Damn, I just found some air holder stuff. Let me keep going cause see. Let me ask you, Money Low, is it true that they unalive Eric Holder's whole family? Is that true? I always wondered that. I'm so glad I got somebody in LA. Okay, y'all, I'm getting there because I got to be off of here at 4 o'clock. Oh, it ain't true. So what about? But his brother did kill himself, right? And so they didn't unalive his mama. Wow, I'm so glad, Money Loc. I love you. Dang. But his brother didn't kill himself. I read that in the paper. I believe. But he was on drugs, right? Or he just was crazy. Okay, I'm almost there. Cause I got to be off of here at 4, so I need to not play. All right, hold on. Because I went over, I was going to try to do this one last night. I'm almost there. I'm on 14. What did I say, January? Okay. Oh, I'm here. Now I just got to find, I'm on the date. Okay, here we go. Yeah, at that time, Shitty was on the, oh, he was. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I love you,
It's
Lo.
all going down. Not the White House, not Trump. Joy Reid's career. She's gone loopy. Welcome to John Mike Keene. We're gonna check out a whole bunch of Joy Reid, where she's at, because it reveals what the Democrats are trying to do to Trump, because she's so bad at her presentation that she gives
I can't. I'm
everything away as
sorry.
one of
I'm
her
not
unhinged,
biased. I'm not voting for you
personal
just because you
videos.
black no more. Because black folks have been the
Conservatives
one
think
that have
fact-checking
stabbed
is
us in the
biased
back.
against them.
Period. I
I
can't
mean, what are you
stand her.
sharing if you keep getting fact-checked for false information?
And
That's
you the
a
number
total
one.
gaslighting, where she's trying to say that fact checking is somehow true or fair under the Biden regime, which is purely politically motivated.
Oh, Money, let me ask you one more thing. So is it true that Nipsey had beat him up a week before he was unalive? Because that's been going around.
The battery, the smoke alarm in the background.
Think about it. What were conservatives sharing on Meta that was getting flagged so much? Are they spreading false
Damn, that was
information?
a lie too. See what I'm saying? How the
And why were
media
they so
lies.
eager? And why are
Just tell the
Republicans in
truth.
general so eager to end the idea of fact-checking? What are they trying to share? What is the motivation for not wanting it?
So now that make me ask you: is it true that Big U called Loose Cannon a half an hour before he was unalive? That probably was a lie too, because Loose Cannon do lie.
To be fact-checked.
She's just protecting Democrat ground to try to allow them and them only to be the fact checkers. That's what Mark Zuckerberg over at Meta/Facebook announced to everyone. It was no longer going to be Democrat leaning. He's even moving all of his fact check.
Okay. You know what? Well, when I do this, I'm gonna do it sometime next week. Will you come up? Will you come up and talk? Because I can invite you to come on up and we could just talk. We can just chit chat, just chill.
Texas, which tells you you're going to get some sanity in your fact checking now.
I've known Pam Bondi because I ran against her. I was running for her.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I didn't
cool.
even get through the primary. She reached across party lines to hire me as a Democrat. She got a lot of grief for it. So my experience with her is I do believe that if she is asked to do something knowingly illegal, she will say no. I do believe she's tethered to the law.
And then she'll get fired.
Very possibly. But she's no Matt Gaetz. She's not going to go in there to burn the house down. She is tethered to the law. She believes in the rule of law.
She said Kash Patel doesn't have an enemies list. That doesn't even strike anyone as credible. He published it.
Well, yeah.
Right?
right. Well, she said there will not be an enemies list within the Department of Justice. And look, I'm not a Pollyanna. She's going to do things I disagree with. Sure. She's going to, I think, investigate the investigators. But do I believe she'll walk out Anthony Fauci, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney in handcuffs because they're political enemies? No way. I think she will push back against Trump if he tells her to do something illegal, and she will follow the evidence and the law. I think Pam Bondi is the best as we Democrats
I
could
agree.
ask for in this situation.
I like Pam.
Democrat defending Pam Bondi to Joy Reid. So she's not having any of that because she believes in these conspiracies, including she's weighing in on the fires here. Crazy talk about FEMA.
Find a roof over their heads next week. Republicans are increasing their calls to make financial support for the state conditional. It's an about face for a party that just a few months ago, during Hurricane Helene, accused President Biden of withholding assistance from areas where
They did.
Claims that were
They
absolute
did.
lies. 3 months later, Republicans are using this moment to exercise political leverage over the state's Democratic leaders and congressional Democrats, threatening to withhold assistance. It's important to note that Californians pay roughly $83 billion more.
That's all a lie because
Facts.
the Republicans are saying we're not going to give money to California that is completely mismanaged,
Right.
proven to be mismanaged, to have the
California had the worst governor, Newsom. I couldn't believe y'all put him back in and y'all sitting up there with a $69 billion deficit. He bought a $9 million house. How on a government salary, and $21 million missing from the homeless fund. You can't make this up.
Who didn't have mortgages.
Yeah.
These are people that, you know, they essentially paid cash for something that, you know, if they had millions of dollars, they would probably be living in homes that were fixed to the ground. They did not. They were an incredibly unique, very close community, and they have lost everything.
trailer homes along the beach that lost everything in the California fires. Joy Reid has zero compassion for them because they're white people in California, and she has a point to.
Man, let me tell you, California, I did 2 videos on the LA fires. Number 1, they gonna turn LA, that downtown gonna be a 15-minute city. That's it. I read the LA 2028 sustainable plan. That was one video. Then I did a second video on the LA fires and Agenda 2030, where ain't nobody gonna be living by no water. And when I do the fires next, it's gonna be a lot of LA, but I got South Carolina, New Jersey. Ain't nobody, and I'm gonna show that map again. Ain't nobody gonna be living off no water. Period.
Need to step aside because they need to fire people like that who are saying things that are so ridiculous and horrific. And we need leaders in California who are going to let people know what in the hell they are going to do to rebuild their lives.
They're not going to do anything to rebuild that stuff if it's in the hands of Democrats. It's time to play fire the liar. Who will lose their job first? Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or Joy Reid?
And
Joy
Karen
Reid
Bass is awful. How the fuck? You in Ghana? Your city on fire. You flew to Ghana, had to come right back.
This was an instructive day. I think Democrats elicited a lot of information that probably at least the Fox audience didn't know. A lot of us have read the reports on it. But how did it strike you that Republicans were mostly reading from op-eds supporting of Hegseth and declaring their support in advance? Just your take on that.
You know, my take on it, Joy, was that Republicans had the script because they are falling in line with the Trump.
As they should.
And as my colleague Tammy Duckworth said, he has a CEO. He's a friend of that CEO. He is unconventional as a chairman, Roger Wicker, a Republican, said, because he lacks qualifications that have led me, like Jack Reed, to say yes and vote for General Austin.
Right, and the Olympics. I got something up. Yep, I got something about that too. Yep, and now this what they saying as far as the Olympics, that they want to clean up all the gang stuff before the Olympics come. We're gonna get rid of that because that just got a little bit boring. Damn, I hit the wrong video. Damn. Okay, so we done with that. Let me get over here. Let me hurry up because I ain't got but 15 more minutes because I gotta get dressed. Oh, let me find this other one. Now that's what they saying, and that might be true, but I don't see the Olympic people running all through the hood. Oh, but they could be robbed. Shit, that's them damn illegals gonna be robbing their ass. And just like Gavin Newsom did before, he rounded up all them homeless, put them and moved them straight out around wherever that event was a couple of years ago. Now I don't know if that's true, but I read it. All right, I'm almost here with this next one. Okay, let me see. Okay, here we go.
CNN.
This is Anton Daniels. I like
they
him.
tried to sweep it under the rug. But CNN recently lost a defamation suit. And in that defamation suit, it's not about them losing the defamation suit. We don't care as much about that. But in the defamation
Gotta
suit,
clean up gangs, homeless. Right, money.
Was the value of CNN, and we all know that MSNBC has mass firings and layoffs. The value of CNN has plummeted significantly. Check it out.
An update to a court case we told you about last week. CNN has now been found liable of defamation and ordered to pay $5 million in damages. But the jury has also ordered the network to award punitive damages to the man who sued the network over a story he said was a hit piece against him. The jury agreed. And because of it, we're getting detailed financial reports from CNN, not typically made public, that shows a network in steep financial decline. A Florida jury has found CNN defamed Navy veteran Zachary Young, a security contractor who was featured in a November 2021 segment about the cost Afghan refugees were paying to leave the ravaged area following the U.S.-Afghanistan withdrawal. CNN featured Young in the story as the only named private contractor assisting in the Afghan evacuations. CNN referred to it as black market operations, later issuing an on-air apology over using the words black market. Young argued the report put him in a negative light, painting him as a criminal. Young contended he was contracted out by corporations and paid by them, never by Afghan refugees, calling the report completely false. While CNN contended their reporting was accurate at trial, the jury sided with Young, saying the report was materially false and done with at least negligence.
Facts.
But the jury isn't done. Now a decision is to be made on the amount of punitive damages awarded, with the jury to hear testimony about CNN's finances, with CNN lawyers already making a case for the jury to show mercy. According to Washington Post reporter Jeremy Barr covering the trial, CNN's top lawyer, in trying to appeal to the jury to award a small punitive damages award, acknowledges that you're going to see that the net worth of the company is actually in a subtle decline. You're also going
as
to hear
it should
about
be
the headwinds facing the entire media environment. Barr, citing tax documents obtained in the case, shows a series of financial stats that points to a network in decline, showing CNN's net income dropping from $600 million in 2021 to $300 million in 2022.
And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people choose not to go to trial. Some people, a lot of times, they'll say, I don't understand why this person doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna let that go
because
because I gotta get on out of here. I just want to finish some of these. Anyway, CNN ended up losing. That man got awarded millions of dollars, as he should have. Okay, let me see. 2 more, I think, and then I'm out of here. Here we go. Here we go. I was so glad they got rid of Jim Acosta. I couldn't stand his ass either.
Reportedly losing his key spot in the CNN lineup. I actually have no idea where his spot is, to be perfectly honest. But they are trying to move him to midnight, which they reportedly sold to him by saying it's prime time on the West Coast. And now there are reports that he's getting ready to quit because he is too big to take this kind of demotion. And the reason he is too big is because of moments like this, where he showed true grit and integrity at CNN when Republican lawmakers from Tennessee had the nerve to come on his show, and exchanges like this that happened last night took place.
Do you defend what Donald Trump did, releasing these people from prison, pardoning them, commuting their sentences? Yes or no? Congressman, I asked you a yes or no question.
If they were truly violent, no. But do I know that they were? I don't know that.
What happened to Back the Blue?
Then why don't you just give an editorial and not let me come on?
What happens if one of the Oath Keepers or Proud Boys goes out there and hurts somebody?
I would say if they're Trump-appointed judges, they will go to jail. But if they're Joe Biden-appointed judges or Soros-backed DAs, they'll probably won't.
Facts. And ain't nobody contest when Biden pardoned the judge that sent all them black youths to prison, and he got paid for them. He let them out. He let out about 4 or 5 pedophiles. He released all his parts. They ain't say shit. Okay?
Churches, we saw in the riots all across the country. Those people walked. Nobody went to jail for that. Millions upon millions of dollars of property was damaged. You all didn't raise a finger.
Facts.
Didn't say one word about it.
Congressman, that's just not true. That was covered on CNN. What you're saying, this is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah.
This is CNN. This is the news.
Right, and you got the lowest ratings.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim. You
Facts.
understand the fact that he won and that America spoke.
Oh my God.
How great is he?
Facts.
Okay, so Congressman Burchett of Tennessee. This is CNN. Or they use mea culpa, but this is CNN. This is the truth. You can't just pull the wool over somebody's eyes here, sir.
God. It just, I don't think I'll be truly happy until Acosta is like selling cubic zirconiums on QVC.
No, I want him on.
Well, he gone. He gone. He left.
He left. That because I believe that he made that at his house.
Okay, let me get rid of that. I got one more, and I am done with this one. And we moving on. Let me see. I'm right here in the section. Oh, here we go. Oh, damn, that video is no longer. Shit, that might be it for today. Let me see. Oh, well, maybe, let me see. Here you go. Here you go.
Average out the View hosts. I'm among the dumbest people on television.
Sonny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person.
This Joe
what
Rogan.
You just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it. And it's nothing.
Just
there.
go for it.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
I mean, Pat, you're married. Tom, you're married. Your husband's doing something. If he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been for years lecturing America about morality and equality,
right?
Failures, and look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said?
Recently, Sunny Hostin has been in the news, but not because of her controversial opinions on The View. No, it was about her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, this time. Furthermore, the headlines were anything but kind, I must say. Orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Hostin and his orthopedic and sports medicine practice were caught in the middle of a huge storm.
Facts.
Claims of kickbacks, insurance fraud, and, get this, a huge RICO lawsuit with 180 defendants. Folks, this isn't just any case. It is a complete blockbuster. To ensure you don't miss any of the turns in this Hollywood-scale scandal, hit the like button and subscribe before we get started on the drama.
Agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Few minutes later.
Let's dissect it. Targeting organized crime was the goal of the RICO Act, also known as the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Imagine
right, which now they need bodies in prison, so now they featuring black gangs because they never targeted black gangs like that before because the mafia is over and done with.
And mobsters. Here's the twist, though. Physicians, surgeons, and medical practices are the ones in the hot seat, not criminals from the underworld. Imagine a courtroom drama that has a lot of fraud mixed in, but feels more like Grey's Anatomy than Goodfellas. Dr. Hostin and others were allegedly involved in a scheme to take advantage of the healthcare system, according to the lawsuit. They allegedly billed insurance companies for procedures that may never have occurred and accepted kickbacks for performing unnecessary surgeries. Imagine this. Patients undergoing surgery. Money is exchanged like it's a high-stakes game of poker at the hospital, with insurance picking up the tab.
I want a citizen that has a policy. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got a $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation? How about removing some of the podcasts that disseminate misinformation? And that's
where the juicy parts are. The lawsuit focuses on Dr. Hostin's claims that he received financial compensation for performing or recommending arthroscopic surgeries, which are minimally invasive joint operations. Although these surgeries may not seem significant at first glance, the lawsuit alleges that many of them were totally unnecessary. Were these patients part of a scheme to make quick cash, or did they truly need knee or shoulder surgeries? This could become one of the largest medical betrayals, surpassing even soap opera scandals, if the accusations are accurate. Imagine having faith in your physician only to discover that you were merely a pawn in a financial scheme.
It's been going on forever.
Like stings.
It's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange for
the American Transit Insurance Company comes next. The plaintiff alleges that they were defrauded of millions of dollars by being charged for surgeries that were either unnecessary or never performed. It's similar to purchasing tofu instead of steak. However, insurance companies also don't have the best records, let's face it. They have been charged with underpaying physicians, rejecting claims, and taking advantage of every possible way to avoid making payment.
So all I'm saying, all you have to do is tell the truth and let the people decide. Oh, I got one more shit. Let me hurry up.
Former federal prosecutor struck by the fact that he would pardon over 1,500 people, especially those that were violent towards law enforcement officers. I mean, we had at least 4 officers, I believe, 4 or 5 that were injured severely, not only physically, but also mentally.
And y'all also arrested a 74-year-old woman who was just there praying and charged her. Y'all was wrong.
And I will say this, if there is no accountability, people will be emboldened to do more. When you are a prosecutor, you don't only prosecute someone because they've committed a crime. You also prosecute someone so that you send a message to society that this type of behavior is unacceptable in our society. What is
like they doing with the migrants, but y'all y'all show standing up for them. Travel all the way to El Salvador and he got MS-13 on his hand. He got the symbolism. Human trafficking video. The fuck? He beat his wife to it. She was scared to death of him, and y'all crying. Y'all could have picked anybody else in the world.
And let me just, wow, what a hypocritical witch. What a hypocrite.
I agree,
this
y'all.
woman has for years advocated for these George Soros prosecutors,
Facts.
social justice prosecutors that were vehemently against
Facts.
supporting the law. They did not want to uphold the law, was going against locking up people on multiple crimes.
Facts.
And now she's saying these people need to be held accountable? Shirley, you notice how the left is twisting or they're trying to hijack almost every conservative point. From the time Kamala Harris was running, she stole Donald Trump's talking points.
Tax on tips.
Policy points.
Tax.
These are the same types of people who advocated defund the police.
Facts.
Supported BLM rioting and
Facts.
terrorizing the country. Yes, some BLMers, if you will, were prosecuted, but they were prosecuted for very low level and misdemeanor type of crimes and let go.
Until they realized that the two women at the top defrauded and bought mansions with that money, donation money, which was a George Soros backed program. That is pop in politics. I like their podcast. They really good. I think I am. Damn, I gotta go. Damn, so I gotta keep this. Damn, I didn't know I had that much for this day. I had 2 more. Yeah, I got to go. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, y'all. See y'all later. I gotta be out.